Hi, good morning, everyone that is watching us. My name is Elizabeth Brown. I'm one of the social workers in Islington fostering team. I'm here today with my colleague, foster carer, experienced one, and we are here to present to you the information you need in regarding to fostering for Islington. But before I get on um, with the information, I'd like to pass you on to my colleague to introduce herself. Over to you.
Hello everyone, my name's Maggie Randall and I've been fostering for 7 years now. And it's lovely if you're listening out there because we've got lots of good things and exciting things to tell you about today.
Cool. So, um, you'll probably be wondering why you should come to Islington. There are a lot of good reasons why you should foster for Islington. And one of them happened recently, and we would like you to share in our success. We are rated as outstanding by Ofsted recently in March, precisely. So we want you to join us to share in our success and to experience how we do fostering in Islington. And also, we have quite stable group of in-house foster carers, and then all our service are in one place. We've got the children looked after team, and as well as the team for the young people and fostering service and our health service, all in one place. So we are able to work together quite easily, is because we can easily get to each other, when we need to talk to each other about cases. So these are the um, three specific reasons why you should join Islington. Okay, so we are currently looking for foster carers um, to look after um, children of primary school age and young people, siblings. We are not currently recruiting foster carers for babies. So if you are thinking of looking after babies, we are not recruiting for that age group now. But if you are interested in looking after primary school age children from 3 years old upward, and you have a spare room, we would like to hear from you. Okay, so we would like to tell you, just in case you're not familiar, excuse me, with fostering, um, what fostering is about. So, fostering is about looking after children and young people in your own house. And to be able to do this, you need to have a spare room, you need to have time, just like you would with your own children, because we would expect you to be available to take these children to school, to contact, to activities, appointments. So if you have that time, then you can consider fostering for Islington. Um, you might be wondering why the children need to come to foster care. There are various reasons why children come into foster care. And one of the reasons is because of what is happening recently in the world today, the pandemic. Um, there are a lot of children whose parents are being affected. And because of that, they have to be hospitalized. And if they haven't got anyone in their family who is able to look after their children, they might contact us for support. So one of the reasons why children might come into foster care is because of health reasons within the family. And in addition to that, children will need to come into foster care if they are suffering abuse or neglect, or whether they are being trafficked into the country to use for domestic slavery or for sexual exploitation. So, if this situation comes to our attention, um, we will investigate it, and these children might end up coming um, into care and being placed in foster care. Um, I would like to pass on to Maggie to tell us about your experience, Maggie, when you come into fostering. What were your thoughts? And since you've become a foster carer, how would you describe your experience?
When I first came into fostering, I felt really nervous because fostering isn't like anything you've experienced before. Even if you've had a family of your own, fostering is very specialised. But once the children settle in, it is very, very rewarding, and you have a very happy home. Um, I feel really rewarded being a foster carer. One of the reasons is when they first arrive and they're upset or they feel emotional and they're not confident. Um, After the time being with me, they gain their confidence, they're happy, they're laughing, they've learnt how to play again, how to smile again. That's my reward. And another reward I have is when they start to gain my trust, then they can believe in themselves and they can work to their highest potential, achieve their highest potential, because they know I believe in them. So that's my reward, that at the end, whatever child I've taken, there's always been good rewards for me also. Um, the children I've had have sometimes come and they've been emotional and they maybe haven't wanted to speak much. But after a while, they start confiding in you, and then you realise that, hey, this is working. I have done something good, because now they feel they can come to me and they can talk to me and they can go to school like all the other children and feel good about themselves, because it is about them feeling good about themselves. So they're my rewards.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry,
Sorry.
I muted my mic. I said that well, just to add to what Maggie had said about what these children might bring into foster care and how rewarding it can be looking after these children. So I said, not realizing that I've muted my mic, that because of what happened to these children prior to coming into foster care, it is possible that they've missed out on a lot of things. It is possible that development will be behind because of what they've been through. Some of them might not have been attending school properly or regularly, or get the support that they need to thrive in their education. So when they come, they would need your support and your help so that they can be where they're supposed to be in their education and other areas of their development. And your role as their foster carers will be to support these children in, in a similar way you would with your own children, when they're attending school, ensuring that they're going to school regularly, they have 100% attendance, They enjoy going to school. They enjoy learning. Um, you know, they get the support that they need. If they need extra support, you advocate for them, both in their school and with their social workers, to get the extra support that they need to achieve their potentials in their education. And also, it is possible that some of them might have what we call um, issues with their behavior because they've not learned um, wrong from right, or they've learned that they perceive to be the right and acceptable behavior are not actually right or acceptable. So when they come to you, you have to teach them what is acceptable and appropriate behavior by giving them routine boundaries, teaching them all those things, self care, self awareness, and sense, give them sense of responsibility, sense of direction, and structure, basically. So I'm going to ask Maggie. Maggie, how have you found doing this with your foster children? You've looked after quite a lot of them, and how would you describe it? All these things that I've mentioned. How did
Well, I
you?
think you've described it really well, Elizabeth, because one example, a young boy of 13 came to me, and when he came, he hadn't been to school since he was 6, and he hadn't been able to have his childhood. That was took from him. So when he came, he was really like the age of a 6 year old. He wanted to play with little toy cars. And I think you have to let these children be that child again, find their childhood, get that childhood. I found with the children I've had, they've all been the same in the way that they've got this lost childhood with all what they've been through, and they really need you to accept that I might want to watch CBBS on telly, although I'm 13, because they may have never seen it before. They may have never experienced lining all their cars up on the floor. These are all things that you can sit down and play games with them, show them how to share and how to have fun. Some children, they may have never even known how to brush their teeth, so we have to show them and guide them. But we do that in a kind, positive way, and we always turn a negative into a positive. And have a good sense of humour. That's what you really need, because these children need you to be smiling and to understand them, because they've had a bad time, whatever circumstances they've come into us with, and we need to make their life good, and we can, because I know that I've done that, and it makes me really, really happy. I feel really privileged to be a foster carer in a role of trust. I really do.
That was
Um,
kind of. Go on,
we
Maggie.
we all we also, as foster carers, we're given a lot of support and training. So please don't feel you'll be on your own. You will be allocated a supervising social worker that will support you, and she will be there for you. You only have to pick the phone up. If it's out of hours, we have an emergency duty number. So 24/7, you will have support. You will not be on your own. So you won't have anything to worry about, and no question will be a silly question. And everyone will support you in Islington. You will have a lot of ongoing training that you will start right at the beginning and continue. Even now, I do training, and that has really been a big part of my journey, because I've learnt so much from starting fostering to where I am now, and I feel it helped me understand my children even more. And we have other groups, support groups, 0 to 3 groups. We have teenage support group, and we also have Independent Foster Carers Association coffee morning where you can come and meet the other foster carers, and we can all support one another and have coffee and smile and laugh and arrange trips for the whole family. So yeah, we have a good time.
And the good thing that you mentioned, Maggie, is that you do this with your own family. You involve your children, your grandchildren,
Yes,
and
yes,
everyone have some um, contribution to make towards these children's life and experience in your home. And it's good for these children to see that what family should be.
yeah,
And when they experience that, that stays with them even when they leave you and move on to another place. They still, they will still remember that experience, and that experience will be like a template for them to build on when they leave you. And it's also rewarding for you, Maggie, to
it
see
is.
them that they
It
leaving
is.
you with that. Yeah, go on.
And I think also we need to, as a foster carer, one of the big things we need to do is always have empathy and walk in their shoes. Because when a child comes to me, I think, oh, that could be my grandson laying in that bed tonight, wondering what's this foster carer like? Is she going to be kind? When I meet the bigger family, are they going to be kind? So if you can imagine your own family or yourself as a child in that room, we need to make it nice and we need to make it warm and inviting, because they've been through such a traumatic journey. We have to keep that in mind and always
Mm,
be aware of that.
mm,
And as I say, keep the sense of humour, because that's what they really need. And they
absolutely.
need a lot of love, care, and patience. And
Mm,
if you've got the love, care, and patience, you will be a great foster carer, because they're the people we need.
mm. Okay. So, in addition to all the support that Maggie mentioned earlier on, we do offer much more than training and, your own supervising social worker. Um, Once you become a foster carer for Islington, you will be part of what we call corporate parents. That means you are sharing in parenting our children, the looked after children. So, you become part of the team. You become a professional in a way, so to say, and also we become a family, and then you get regular visit from your supervising social worker. You will also be, invited to meetings that involve the child you're looking after, because you are the one that care for this child 24/7. So you know the child better than the professionals would. So they would like to hear from you. They like you to contribute to the plan that whatever plan the department has for this child. So it is important that you represent the child in these meetings. So there are a lot of meetings that I won't be able to mention on the here today, but just to let you know that you will participate in meetings, and your views and your contribution uh, is very, very valuable to us, because that is what we use in addition to our professional judgment to make the right decision for these children in order to give them a positive outcome. So that is another thing that you will get when you come to Islington. You will have access to regular ongoing training. Um, we have our training center in the same building where the fostering service and the children's service are based, and the training is arranged in a way that you are allowed to drop the child, your foster child, at school, and also collect them from school. So we make sure the training is kind of is fitted within the child's school runs. So you're not going to be inconvenienced by the training. Okay. And we also give allowance because we appreciate that fostering is a very demanding job, and in appreciation of all the care, all the time, all the attention that you're giving to our children, we do give our foster carers weekly allowance. Um, Also, Maggie, you want to say something? Sorry,
Yes,
coming.
also in those allowances, when it's a child's birthday, you will get a certain amount of money to have birthday celebrations with them. When it's Christmas, you will get additional money for the child for their Christmas or whichever um, religious festival they follow. That will also be catered for at a different date. Yeah, the allowances are very generous, and the children have good allowances to enable you to clothe them well, to feed them well, to buy any books, equipment, or toys they may need. So, a lot of things are taken care of for us.
And for our new foster carers, we are aware that this some of you might not have done fostering before, or you might have not parented a child in a long time, and this will become new to you. So we do appreciate that, and what we do is we provide what we call nurturing support, so whereby you meet other new foster carers, and we give you training and preparation that you need to, to carry on the job properly. I'm not sure whether you had that, Maggie, when you were first approved.
Yes, I did. I spoke with other foster carers that were experienced, and they gave me a lot of support and a lot of tips. And also, I'd like to say that if there's any foster carers out there that are going to apply, I'm free if you want to call me and speak about any worries or concerns. I'd like to do that for you. You're more than welcome.
Good. So if you're interested, please get in touch with us. And if there is any questions that you want to ask us from what we've been saying, please send your questions and we will try and answer them. And if we're not able to answer them during this session, we will get back to you, or you can ring us on our telephone number that is appearing at the bottom of your screen, or send us email and we will try and get back to you as soon as it's possible. Okay, so now that we've kind of give you an idea of what foster carers do or what fostering involves, I'd like to touch on the process. So once you are happy with the information today, um, you can request for an information pack, and within the pack there is an application form. Once you fill the application form and send it to us, we will get back to you within 10 days of receiving your application, and you will get a contact from a social worker who will arrange to come and, because of the situation we're in now, where we're not visiting homes, but we do carry out assessment, initial visits, and further discussion over the phone virtually. So if you want to know more about fostering, do contact with us. Okay. Um, so what is next? So the next thing is for you to check our website, request an information pack. If you want more information or ask us questions, and there is also foster carers who will be happy to talk to you over the phone, share their experience with you if you would like to hear more from them. And is there any other thing, Maggie, that you would like to add that maybe I've missed?
I'd just like to say that the reward for you will be very high in your heart, and it will be the best thing you've ever done. So, and I really mean that sincerely. It's my whole life now, fostering. If I had to stop tomorrow, I would be so upset because I just love what I do. And you will too, because these children, when you get to know them, they will bring you a lot of joy into your life.
Okay. And do you want to say more about the support that you get other than your social
Yeah,
worker? What about
uh,
when the office is closed in the
yeah,
evening, weekends, bank holidays?
yeah.
How do you get that support?
So if it's bank holiday, then a duty team will speak to you. You'll be given the phone number, and there'll be a social worker that will speak to you. And any concerns you have, you can ask her, you can tell her, she can direct you on what you need to do. And she will deal with it and completely take the worry from you, because that's what she's there to do. And they do it very well, actually. So even if it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, if there's a problem, because we never know, you can ring the duty team, and they're there and they're very nice, and they will talk you through anything and guide you the right way to go with whatever the issue is at the time. Also, as I mentioned earlier, you've got your supervising social worker that will visit you once a month and always be on the end of the phone. And then there's the child social worker that will visit the child. Um, and that's why we're professional, and we need to work in a team, because you will be having lots of meetings with these people, and we need to advocate for the child by working nicely in a tight team together. And that brings results if we all work together.
And I know that Maggie mentioned our out of duty service. And just to say that even though we're not in the office, there is someone at the end of the phone to speak to you. So it's not your call is not answered by an answering machine. We have a real person on the other end of the phone, to pick up your calls, to advise you, to guide you on whatever you need guidance on. And these social workers, they're probably not your own supervising social worker, but they might have heard about you, even know you, because one way or the other you might have come across them, maybe in support groups or other groups that we provide for foster carers. So we are always there 24/7.
Yes,
24/7 we're there.
for an
Good.
example, you may need to take a child to hospital. So then, if it was out of hours after 5, you would ring the duty social worker and you will tell them, and they would ring you through that journey at the hospital to make sure you was okay, the child was okay. So they're always there. So you've got no worries at all. Everyone's going to support you. The foster carers, the social workers, the supervising social worker, right the way through the team, they will support you.
And for those of you who are thinking of working and fostering, and in Islington, we have foster carers that do work and they foster as well. And this is something that we help you to look at if you move on to the next level of the process. We help you to think about how can you fit your work into fostering. So if you fall into the category of people that want to foster and work, don't be discouraged by all the things that we said that foster carers do for the foster children, because it's possible that you work and foster. Okay, we've now come to the end of this session. Thank you very much for listening to us, and
Thank
we look
you.
forward to hear from you. Thank you, and
Thank
goodbye
you.
for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.